Warren. Cameron Johnson. Good morning.
Good morning.
Please limit your comments to 3 minutes.
I know the drill. Probably not surprised that I'm speaking today. I always speak. To me, it's like almost like a wasted meeting without having anything to say. No offense to all the interesting stuff I'm going to say. I think that if you don't say it, it's almost worse than saying it softly, which is what I usually do. Because no one knows what you're thinking. But anyway, the subject I had in mind today was the max green light. I think that is probably the biggest asset that I've seen in transit since the first max green light. The max one after that and after that. But I think this max is particularly helpful because most of the riders are in Southeast Portland. The main problem I have with it though is that the scheduling is never right. It's never on time. Trust me, if I were to catch a max on time, people would be noticing it because I'm dancing around in glee. And I think that the transit trackers are pretty much useless because they show only scheduled times, so scheduled times are never right in the first place. Sorry, I gotta look at my notes. I think that green line is better than line 72 for except one thing. That's because people will choose 72 because it runs like 5 times more often. Or 3 times anyway. And because even on weekends it runs more than the green line, and it runs every 15 minutes past 7:30 while the green line does not. And I think that since the green line has this schedule mishaps, never on time, I don't think I've ever caught an on-time green line, that less people ride because their transfers get mixed up. I'm really big on transferring to other buses. It takes me 3 buses on a typical run on the green line to get home. But the green line's not a bus, so another problem I have is that the green line doesn't stop. It stops running every 15 minutes at like 7:30 every day of the week, and that people ride it a lot at night too. So I really don't have anything else to say after that. I should have included it a lot better. Than, yeah, I should have said the whole thing a lot better.
Great. Thank you. Darla Sturt. Good morning.
Good morning.
You know the drill also?
I do know the drill. Mr. Chair, President, and members of the board, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I'm here today to give you an opportunity as the board of directors for TriMet to say that we need to have a citizens review board of all TriMet's accidents. I went to Salem in the fall of 2008, spoke with the Transportation Committee. TriMet at that time said they had to go back to 33 stations on the east side. This is due to the fact I passed a law, otherwise they wouldn't have had to gone back. Time tells that. Because TriMet had a study done in 1999 by the Corps, they told them to make these changes at the same locations, and TriMet didn't change them. I also came to you in March of 2009 to see about putting together a citizens review board. You said no right off the bat. Rick Metzger set up for me to spend time with TriMet's top safety staff because he also believes we need to make it safer yet. And looking through their records that I've collected over the past almost 7 years, I believe no one is holding them accountable. I brought to their attention that in their own statistics from 1994 to 2006, that they had 505 accidents and that they had a driver that had been involved in 13 of them. At that time, we all agreed to have an independent member of the National Transportation Safety Council do an audit on them. TriMet picked out at random 20 accidents. The National Safety Council found that 25% were wrong. They should have been preventable. Not very good odds for when you're talking about safety of the public. And you wonder why we want to have someone, you wonder why I want another set of eyes to look at TriMet and what they do. I believe that the driver that left the little boy at the station was the one that had the 13 accidents. Right before Thanksgiving, a man was killed again at the same crosswalk as my son. This was one of the 33 that should have been changed. According to Steve Banta, they were waiting for the stimulus money and the quotes from the contractors, but yet we lose another life. A driver's license, recently had a bus driver picked up, didn't have a driver's license. He also went through a red light. TriMet states that they should have been called by DMV. In all companies, there's human resource departments that check their drivers. When is enough enough? They didn't finally fix Gresham Station. They finally fixed Gresham Station where my son was killed a little too late for the other family. So in almost 7 years of trying to make things better, TriMet is still not being held accountable. In conclusion, they had a study done in 1999 by the Corps of Engineers. Nothing changed. I passed a law in 2007. A year later, the TriMet board didn't even know there was a law, so nothing was done. Finally, they did another study, and they stated they only killed 2 bicyclists in 22 years, when in reality they'd killed 19 in 12 years and hit a total of 505, 76 pedestrians, 27 bicyclists, and 402 motor vehicles from 1994 to 2006. You pat your drivers on the back and say it's okay to be unpreventable. And when an independent member of the National Transportation Safety Council says 25 of your non-avoidable accidents should have been avoidable. All operators of a commercial vehicle are trained to a higher level than the average driver. The prevention of an accident remains the responsibility of the operator regardless of the right-of-way, according to the National Transportation Safety Standards, and TriMet also embraces their standards in all their training certifications. Your standards for TriMet are low because of the culture that they have been trained, and now you know why the public needs to get involved and look over their shoulder so that we can feel safe in our own city. I don't know how you sleep at night knowing that they don't always tell the truth. This is a culture and it's time to change. So I ask you one more time, will you step up to the plate, make it a safer place by putting together a Citizens Review Board, or do I need to move on to the mayors, the city commissioner, the government to show them? TriMet's culture is, it's never their fault. I will continue on because they show that it is all about money and not about a life. It's a liability. Or TriMet would have gone back to the East County a long time ago. My son had a saying, dream big. I have, and I will, till someone helps me hold them accountable, and I'm hoping that will be you today. You know, I wouldn't be here if I hadn't lost my son to try and make it safe for other lives. May God be with you as you make this decision. What is a life worth? I'm just trying to make it better, and I know I was here last March, and I asked about the Citizens Review. And if you go through and you listen to the safety, there are things that people aren't looking at. And you as a board are looking at TriMet. But do you talk about the safety? Do you talk about what's going on? Do you talk about the fact that they judge their own accidents? So I'm really looking for you to see if we can't put this together.
Okay. Thank you, Mr.